Welcome. Wow, standing room only. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. This is the first Saturday series of events at the Oblivion Gallery, the gallery that my wife Renee and I operate to showcase our work and to have a guest artist featured every month or two. So we're super excited that for the next 2 months, John Hudgel is featuring his sculpture work here with us. I became aware of John a couple of years ago with just seeing this wood carved work and these amazing guitars on social media, and so we got to know each other in person, and he was available to show here in the gallery, and we were really excited to host him. So please give a warm welcome to our guest artist, John Hudgel.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming today, and welcome. I'd like to extend first a huge amount of gratitude towards Renee and Judd for opening up their space and sharing it with me. Very grateful, amazing people. I'm going to start a little bit with some history. I went to college at Kent State University in the mid-90s, studied sculpture under Brinsley Tyrell, very talented English artist, who showed me the world of art and what it was like to be an artist and to produce. And sorry, a little nervous. First couple minutes might be a little rocky, but I got the privilege of helping him work on a couple large-scale public pieces, which was really the most educational part of it, like just getting to work hand in hand with him. Actually, one day I lit one of his pieces on fire by accident, and he forgave me and continued to let me work with him. But towards the end of college, he took me up to Cleveland to a bronze foundry, where he was having a very large set of gates made, which I got to help work on, and saw the world of bronze casting. So after college, I immediately applied to work at the same foundry. I worked there for 7 years and learned the whole casting process, taking other artists' work and turning it into bronze. The part that I loved the most was mold making, which I brought 2 pieces here with me today that are cast. There's this piece and that piece, which were made in wax or clay. That one was clay, this one was wax, and made a rubber mold. These are cast in plaster and painted. So I spent the next 10 years working there, working with other artists, casting anything from little miniature pieces to huge life-size figures, and stayed there for 7 years, and then went onward to Loveland, Colorado, Berthoud, Colorado, where I continued in that industry. There's a huge blooming casting world there in Loveland and Berthoud. They have this humongous sculpture festival that happens once a year in Loveland. So that was a wonderful experience. So that was a decade after college. And after that wrapped up, I got the idea to combine, the whole time I was still making my own sculpture in anything from cast glass, cast bronze, cast plaster. I did a lot of clay sculpture, a little bit of wood, not a whole lot of wood yet, but at that point I got the idea that I really had a lot of passion for music and enjoying music and seeing live music, so I wanted to find a way to join my art with live music, so I started making electric guitars. And I spent the next decade making electric guitars. Sorry, Marcia, can I have a little water? Thank you. So, I brought one guitar with me here today. I made a total of 6 guitars in that decade. Meanwhile, still making other artwork. But I was self-taught, basically learned from watching videos online, reading books, talking to people, looking at how other people did what they did. And my first guitar was not so great, but I learned tons of lessons. I still carry that thing. It's been gutted, taking pickups out of it and switching them out and, you know, stealing pieces and parts from it. But continued to make electric guitars, and this is probably the best one that I ever made. It really shows all of what I learned during that decade, from inlays to wood finishing and lamination. But really what I really enjoyed the most was doing inlays, and I think this guitar shows that pretty well.
Over here, there's more standing room on this side. Excuse me.
Come on in. Welcome. So really what that decade did for me was really, beyond the guitar itself, it really taught me about wood and how to work with wood and what you could do with wood and what you couldn't do with wood. And the wood is always going to have its influence, or, you know, you're like, oh, trying to make it do this, and sometimes it's just like, nope, sorry, not going to work. So really building a relationship with wood was what that decade was about for me, and really instilling this passion and hunger about working with and being with wood, and really reading it and feeling it as a material. It was a very rewarding decade. One of the heights of that period was in 2011. I donated a guitar to Jam Cruise 9, an organization called Positive Legacy. And 3 members of the Grateful Dead signed it, Billy, Mickey, and Bobby, and it was auctioned off for $6,000, and the money went to, excuse me. The money went to help rebuild a school in Mahalal, Mexico, which is very close to, it's in Cancun, very close to, the one port that I can't remember the name of. It's right by Belize. It's kind of a cruise line port, but outside of that are all these small fishing villages. And Mahalal is one of those small fishing villages. The grade school was knocked down by a hurricane. So the money all went towards helping rebuild the school, which was a very satisfying, fulfilling experience. One of the best experiences of my life. So, really, as I said, what that experience did was really help me build an understanding of wood. Guitars are very labor intensive, and there's a lot of rules about everything has to be right. You know, if it is not right, it's not going to sound good. It doesn't sound good, nobody's going to want it. So I grew tired of restrictions and rules and having everything to be just so, and I missed the days of sculpture and freedom and just getting to be able to do whatever I felt. So I took what I learned in doing guitars and brought it back into my practice of sculpture. So that's what brings us to most of the work you see here today, other than the casting. The carving in the back was from my early days, but the rest of it is all post-guitar. And so I really wanted to do 2 things, and it was to combine the techniques I learned doing guitars, inlays, and the passion for wood and bring those two things together. So the work that I do these days, it's very process oriented, like building a guitar. Very methodical, slow, intentional. But my present work really is about letting the wood be part of it and letting it shine through and letting it be part of the design, part of the feeling, and part of the outcome. So this piece I made while I was doing guitars, so this is really where the transition took place of that applied work to a different space, and the rest of the work has kind of grown from there. Let's talk about my design aesthetic for a minute. So the things that are important to me are balance, symmetry, and an expression of balance with nature. So I try to really emanate a vibe or a feeling of balance through symmetry and through the interaction of shapes from nature, the feeling of the wood, and try to really bring through an energy, a vibration. I think that one of the things as an artist that's challenging, and a goal probably for every artist, is to build a feeling or a recognizable sense, that you recognize my work, or any artist, wants you to view it and be like, oh, that's made by so-and-so, and I feel like I've gotten to the point where I have attained to some degree that kind of feeling, which is amazing. To me, I feel it's an accomplishment, and it's where I want to be. Wood has really changed my life as an artist. Art is a language, and I've tried all sorts of different mediums throughout my career, and wood has taken that language and really given me a tool to take it to the next level. I really feel that I probably will never stop working with wood. It's my sweet spot, so to speak. And so present day, this is all of this woodwork, these carvings and assemblies are, post-guitar, this decade. But for the present time, this piece that's hanging here, the orb, is from last year. This piece here, this landscape, is from this year. So this is kind of where I've taken these ideas, and they're kind of culminating into new ideas. A lot of my career I've focused on being on the wall and doing reliefs, and for some reason I got stuck on the wall, and recently I've decided to come off of the wall and come back into the space of 3 dimensions, and I really, making this piece has really changed me in a lot of ways, and just the way that 3-dimensional pieces affect the space is so different. I really like the way that this piece, even if it was hung out here, like it affects the whole space. It's not the same as viewing something on a wall. Like on a wall, you can see something, walk past it, and it kind of goes away. But I really like the feeling of affecting the whole space. And these landscapes this is probably about the 20th, maybe 25th one I've done. I really enjoy doing them. The wood really gets to play a role in how each piece feels. Every time I do one, they're very different. So it's very exciting to me every time to just allow the wood to really play a part in the space and in the piece. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I plan on doing more and more 3D pieces, and I really like the hanging aspect. So my plan is to jump into that for, who knows, maybe a decade, since that seems to be my pattern. I'm really grateful to get to do this kind of work. I think that one of the other really important things for me is the space of being in my studio and working on something. It's something akin to meditation or a yoga practice or something along those lines. But that special sacred place that I get to have with myself and with the wood or with whatever material or idea, and then getting to turn around and share that with people. It's always interesting to see how people react or what they see in it or what feelings they get out of it. And sometimes they're similar to mine and sometimes they're not. And that's the great part about it, is getting to feel what I've done and how it affects somebody else. I think that's a very special relationship that I get to have with my work and with the people that experience it. That's kind of it. I am super grateful for Judd and Renee for opening their space. I'm also super grateful for all of you to take time out of your lives and come and take a peek into my world. I was talking to my mom last night, and she lives in Colorado, and she says, "Wow, it's kind of like you're naked in front of all these people." And I was like, "Mom, I called you because I'm nervous, and I wanted you to calm me down a little bit. This is really not what I was hoping for." And then we talked for a while, and then she said it again, and it's just like, "Mom, come on." And I just thought I'd share that with you because that's awesome. But,
Would you be willing to take a question?
oh, absolutely. Any questions, please?
I'm very interested in that piece that I can just barely see half of.
The landscape?
Yes. How many different kinds of wood? How long did it take?
Well, actually, this is one of the shorter processes that I have, because really I end up with a pile of wood, and I look at the wood and I go, "Oh, I really like this piece right here," and what goes with it, what colors work together, and just start piecing together out of my stock of wood what works, what feels right together. And then I just kind of throw them together. I cut some trees and, decide on a moon, or some of them have had clouds. I really like the clouds as well in there. I've done, mostly they've been mountain landscapes, but I've also done seascapes. And I can do them big, I can do them little, and there's really no rules other than they end up a landscape. So it's really been a fun adventure, and everyone turns out different. So it's almost like Christmas every time to see what the feeling is going to end up like.
You did a personal landscape with these people. That was. What was the scene on the coast? They asked you to do a certain.
They wanted a coastline like Santa Cruz, and they're like, "Oh, well, we want a lighthouse as well." So I had kind of one piece of land that was coming out like a jetty, and put a landscape on it, and it was a really pretty large one, and it took a while to figure out how to do the ocean. Like, how am I going to do water? Woods are all brown, and so I did it with just black walnut, just made it dark, and it turned out wonderful. And that had an inlaid sun, kind of like the guitar, so I've applied inlay to it as well.
On some of the pieces like the 3D one or some of the more highly designed pieces, can you tell us a little bit about the process you use?
I meant to talk about that. You know, I get a little nervous talking, but
What are the tools you use?
so designing a piece like any of these intricate ones, I spend a lot of time drawing. A lot of time drawing. I will draw and draw and draw and draw over and over and over until it's absolutely perfect in my mind. I will not touch a piece of wood at all until I hang it up and sit there and go, yes! And if I don't do that, I don't make it. So I spend a lot of time. And then like these puzzle ones especially, I will then take that drawing. Sometimes I'll trace one little aspect and, you know, make one piece of wood, and I'll start piece by piece and make each individual piece, and then comes the fitting together part. I use bandsaws, jigsaws, scroll saws. I use chisels, files, sandpaper, Dremels. I have a nice little Dremel router base, which is one of the coolest things ever. It's like a teeny little router. I use that a lot. So lots of once it's assembled, though, lots of sanding and filing, and sometimes I'm just straight up carving. I've done a lot of straight up carving. Depends on what that.
Machines or anything.
No computers. No.
Computers, no.
Maybe someday, but I'm fighting it.
So you've never used any of those?
Never. No, not even to design. Yeah, not even to design. I mean, one thing I will say is that, you know, you see something online and you're like, oh, you know, like I want to make a rabbit, or, you know, I made an eagle. Sometimes I'll have a reference, like the eagle that's in the book was I made for my brother-in-law from a picture that he took. I made a black sheep for Dan, you know, like I looked online, I'll look at picture references and then I'll sketch it out, but with a picture reference. I won't just take the picture and copy it, then I'll sketch it out. And then comes the worst part, is the finishing. Boo! I hate finishing. It's the most nitpicky part, and you'll be almost done, and then it messes up, and you got to start over.
What kind of wood do you use?
What?
What kind of wood do you use?
Any wood. If it's pretty, I'll use it. I don't have any rules about it. I tend to gravitate towards burls, but you know, it's about what it feels like. I've got in here, there's from Doug fir, redwood, to rare exotic pink ivory from South Africa. This burl here is from Australia. It's called Coolabah. It's a type of eucalyptus. So me wood shopping is kind of like a guitar player shopping for a guitar. You know, like I see something, I gotta have it. You know, like, yeah, this piece of wood cost in the 90s, or no, sorry, about 2010, it was $500 and something, $570 or something like that, and the shipping from Australia was $250. Would have been a lot more today, but if I see something that talks to me, I gotta have it.
Do you have a favorite wood to work with?
Pink ivory is my favorite. It's kind of rare from South Africa. It's super dense and heavy, which those are not always easy woods to work with, but that one specifically just carves like butter.
And you had something shiny, the moons. You made like a fair, you had like shiny moons. What was that wood?
Shiny moons. That was quilted maple.
Quilted maple.
Yeah, quilted maple is more from the Midwest and Canada. The maples out here, you get great maple burl, but you won't find quilted maple here. It's more, I think it's a different genus or species of maple, not species, different type in the same genus, but just different wood structure and climate factors. The burls out here are the best thing ever, but I do miss the quilted maple.
How and where do you source the woods, or is it a variety of?
Well, online and locally. I've been in Oregon for 8 years. I came with a treasure trove of stuff from the Midwest and stuff I'd purchased online from all over the world. But living in Oregon, it's like the breadbasket of wood. Sycamores, black walnuts, maples, and into myrtle, and I haven't used yew yet. I don't think legally I'm allowed to, but I'm just beginning to even tap into the source of wood that exists in this region. And people's burn piles, my gosh, there's a source. Sorry.
What's the legal issue with you?
It's protected in some regards because it's not super prevalent, but it was used by natives for bows, and they don't propagate, like you won't find a huge like grove of yew. So I think scarcity and because of its traditional use in native culture.
Do you live in the Eugene area?
Cottage Grove. Cottage Grove, yeah, we zip in and out.
So how do you feel about doing commissions? I mean, I know artists have a variety of feelings about that.
Oh.
It can be a requirement for us, but how do you feel about it?
I welcome it. Actually, it's been one of the most fulfilling experiences because they're ideas that I didn't come up with. And it tends to challenge me to think out of the box and in a direction that I may not have otherwise. So it's one of the most exciting things that I could be faced with.
Have you ever done furniture?
Furniture is a skill set that I don't have. Like joinery is a art unto itself, and I don't have that skill set, and I'm envious of people that do. It is precise, like really high quality furniture. It is precise work. I like the freedom of sculpture because there's no rules. And, if I make a mistake, I can go, oh, look, it's a flower, or just turn it into something else. And so that freedom is nice. But, even a simple table, if you don't have joinery skills, that table's not going to last. And it's definitely a skill set that I wish I had.
When if somebody had a table, sorry, I'm not talking about when if somebody had a table and they wanted you then to come and inlay something.
Oh, absolutely.
Inlay your carve it. Yeah. So
Carve, inlay.
done, and you could then just come in.
Yes, I could absolutely. It's no different than doing that to a piece of wood. A table is a piece of wood. So,
It'd be amazing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I wanted to do inlays on finished hardwood floors, like in the middle of a floor. But then I thought about how much bending over it was, and I was like, it's a great idea for somebody else. I think I could make a lot of money doing that, but I'd probably not walk for very long.
You can do the piece and then install it.
And then,
Or pay someone else to install it, yeah.
You design it and you let the 20-year-old.
Yes, I need to hire some 20-year-olds, yes, with fresh backs. Apprentices, yes, I like that. That's why they came up with that word. I've got one right there. Anybody else? Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor. And thank you, Judd and Renee.